And Julia, you started out doing the Systemic Team Coaching Certificate face-to-face. Then you joined the diploma, and of course, just after the start of that, it went virtual. So you have experience of working in both mediums. Maybe you'd like to share a bit about the comparison, maybe the value of one over the other.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Actually, I feel fortunate that quite by accident, due to the COVID, we moved on a virtual platform because parallel to being trained virtually, I could put into practice, what we've learned. Not just the tools and techniques, but as Mandy said, it gave me confidence to use Zoom properly, so I immediately practiced what I've learned during the training and compared the virtual and the classroom. Saying the funny thing is, I didn't really see a key difference because ever since early March, we've been doing the diploma program virtually. Even yesterday we had half a day training, and I found it amazing, that we could do the role playing and the case studies and all kinds of discussions online. And actually, I could make use of that during my practice as well with my teams. And not just the tools and techniques what are important here, but the mindset change that I'm going through with your training since February. Because one of the key principles in systemic team coaching is that there's value at the connections, connecting technology with people, team member to team member, or teams with the wider organization, the wider system. And this was very useful, to look at the whole COVID situation and where my teams found themselves, from a more systemic point of view, and have them to make these connections, with the wider environment, also with the technology they encountered. So yeah, absolutely, it was very useful for me as well.
So finding that connection in the virtual world was just as powerful as it is face-to-face. And this is what I have found. I've been really amazed because I did say we were forced into this virtual format because we had resisted online programs, but we've been using the Zoom technology has been really rich, and amazed at the depth and personal exploration that we've got and the ability to run experiential exercises. So I was wondering, maybe Julia, what drew you to making this big investment?
Well, yes, actually I've already studied team coaching here in Hungary and have had some experience coaching teams, not just managing as a project manager, but also coaching. However, last October at ICF's Global Coach Conference in Prague, I saw you presenting the systemic team coaching model and its underlying disciplines. And I realized that there was something missing in my practice. And what was missing was the systemic view, the systemic, looking at the team with its systemic context. And I found it fascinating that there are common grounds, common similarities between systemic team coaching and project and program management. Like, the importance of managing properly stakeholders, or continuous learning as a team, and defining the purpose of the team based on what stakeholders expect. And these are the things that we do as project managers. However, these are completely different areas of professions, of course. But I was really fascinated by the whole model, so I decided to learn more about it. And that's why I did the course, the certificate course in February, and then started the diploma training, which is a year long, early March. Yeah, but as I just explained, now it's virtual, but I think it will be blended because we are talking about coming back to classroom training as well. So it's more a fascination that led me to learn more about this technique.
Yes, indeed. So your experience in project management and managing teams through that, this model, this program, you thought would take you through to a deeper level.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And
self as instrument in holding that systemic perspective is very powerful for the teams that we work with.
Fantastic. Yes, and that idea of how you bring yourself into your team coaching practice is incredibly important. And on the 3-day program, we really just begin to touch on that. But on the diploma program, of course, over a year, you get to deepen and enrich that process. And finally, what advice might you share to prospective participants, those who are listening in today, to maximize the learning for themselves from, say, joining a program like this? And Julia, how has that changed? Because you're now in the middle of the diploma program as well. So
yeah.
really,
And you are absolutely right saying, John, that you get more in-depth knowledge and experience with the systemic. As we go through a lot of case studies and real life examples. And actually what I would recommend to those doing the certificate course is to go and straight away do the practice of what you've just learned. As Mike said, try to have as much experience as possible with teams. And also what I would suggest is what I've done here in Hungary after coming back from London is try to find a senior master practitioner in systemic team coaching with whom you can, collaborate and see an entire systemic intervention from the beginning to the end. And I'm very fortunate because here in Hungary we have one master practitioner, Agnes Jagica, and she was kind to invite me to a new project. And it was fascinating for me to see how at the negotiation table with a new client, she explained the values of systemic intervention compared to more traditional methods. And gave me a very good insight into understanding that you need to educate leaders about systemically thinking. So that's what I would definitely recommend you to go and practice with a senior practitioner.
Yes. So yes, so after the program, to find a way of working alongside someone that's experienced. Yes, obvious, wonderful. If you can find that, I think you're very fortunate in that respect.
Yeah.
I suspect also maybe coaching team leaders if you don't immediately have access to the team. So thank you very much indeed, Julia, Mike, and Mandy, indeed, for joining me in this exploration of systemic team coaching in a virtual format and how it applies to working in virtual teams. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.